In this video, we are going to take another concept called verbal repetitions. In verbal, we have written or oral repetition of the word or phrases. It may be sentence. Let's see. Verbal repetition is an exact repetition of the same words, phrases, clauses, fully or partly, and even lines in the literary text. The repetitions may occur in adjacent or even non-adjacent lines. It means very close. Verbal repetitions have the effect of foregrounding because in normal language we tend to avoid repetitions by means of use of proforms, synonyms, substitutions, ellipses, etc. Let's see. Verbal repetition has a kind of spontaneity and a poetic intensity. Verbal repetition has a kind of spontaneity and a poetic intensity. I will repeat. Verbal repetition has a kind of spontaneity and a poetic intensity. It conveys a sense of insistence and emphasis. It conveys a sense of insistence and emphasis. It is useful in conveying a simple raw emotion in a forceful and effective manner. It is useful for the conveying simple raw emotion in a forceful and effective manner. Even in ordinary emotive language, we see repetition as a primitive device of intensifications. Example: never, never shall I forgive him. Never, never shall I forgive him. Here, never, never is repeated here. A few more examples from literature are given below. Let's see. Ah, happy, happy bow that cannot said, yours lives not ever beat the spring audio. And happy melodies unveiled, forever piping songs for forever new. More happy love, more happy, happy love. Ode on a Grecian earth. This is written by John Keats. So, a happy, happy bow. Happy, happy here is a repeated word. Let's see another example. In every cry of every man, in every infant's cry of fear, in every voice, in every band. In every cry here, this word is repeated. Again, cry is repeated. Every is many times repeated in this line. The mind fogged mangles I hear. London. It is written by William Blake's popular poem London. This line is taken from William Blake's London. The mind fogged mangles I hear. Mind mangle. These are the words are repeated here. M sound is repeated in this line. Let's see another example. It is a popular poem of the Robert Frost. Title is Stopping by Woods on a Snowy Evening. This is a very useful and powerful meaning of these lines. Let's see. The woods are lovely, dark and deep, but I have promises to keep. The woods are lovely, dark and deep, but I have promises to keep, and miles to go before I sleep, and miles to go before I sleep, and miles to go before I sleep, and miles to go before I sleep. Here, number of words are repeated in this sentence, in this lines or in this poem. So, this is a repetition, verbal repetition of the words. It is a meaningful poem. The woods are lovely, dark and deep. Woods means here life. The woods are lovely, dark and deep, but I have promises to keep, and miles to go before I sleep, and miles to go before I sleep. It means that we are living in the threat of COVID-19. So there is no surety or there is no certainty of anyone's life. Who will going to die anytime, we don't know. What is the time of his death or we don't know. So similarly here in this poem, Robert Frost insists on or focuses on the woods are lovely, dark and deep. So life is very fine, lovely, but it has both side, dark and deep. It means sometimes sadness or happiness, or it is a struggle in life. But I have promises to keep. But I have promises to keep. It means I have to do for something others. I will recognize after my death, that is your work. And miles to go before I sleep, and miles to go before I sleep. If I am going to die after some time, it must be take the name of that person with their work. Otherwise, it is the person has come and gone. So this is not life called. So right now we have to move next concept called parallelism. Parallel means it is similar. Parallel line, two lines. Parallel means similar lines or same lines are going forward. That is parallel. It is in general. Let's see according to a linguistic approach here. Parallelism implies repetition of a syntactic structure or phonological pattern. Parallelism implies a repetition of a syntactic structure or a phonological pattern. In any such pattern, there must be an element of similarity and an element of contrast. Similarity or contrast are included in a similar line. So phonology structure, all the things we have seen in previous video, you may go through that video, you will find the structure and phonology elements. Let's see. Even in a subliterary use of language like slogans, proverbs and nursery rhymes, we find plenty of examples of parallelism. Even in subliterary uses of language like slogans, proverbs and nursery rhymes, we find plenty of examples of parallelism. For example, care for the earth, care for the coming birth, plant or perish, man proposes and God disposes. Solomon Grundy, born on Monday, Christian on Tuesday. The well-known definition of democracy: of the people, by the people, for the people. This is a repetition within the sentence. That is called parallel. That is a parallelism. Same pattern used. It is a contrast. Of the people, by the people, for the people is also an example of parallelism. Remember, a few examples from poetry are given below. I kissed thee before I killed thee. This is taken from Shakespeare's Othello. I kissed thee before I killed thee. This is the contrast, kissed and killed. Here we have a syntactic repetition of SVO pattern or pronoun V2. V2. It means verb to, or it is past participle pronoun pattern. In phonological repetition of syllable structure V, you will understand very quite easy. V means vowel, C means consonant. You could understand at your level. K, it is again vowel, consonant. You will understand CVC, CC and CC. VCCC. You will understand at your level. It is quite easy. Repetition of trace or rhythmic pattern. Alternative patterns: kissed and killed, and the hills crack and the temples crack, and the sky falls. An old woman. That is written by Arun Kolatkar. Arun Kolatkar. It is an Indian poet who has written Jejuri. It is a popular work of him. And the hills crack and the temples crack and the sky falls. Here we have the repetition of same clause pattern. Conjunction followed by the subject and verb. The pattern could also be reinterpreted as CG conjunction, that is determinant DT plus noun plus verb. Shylock's impassioned words from Shakespeare's The Merchant of Venice also illustrate the impact of parallelism. If you prick us, do we not bleed? If you tickle us, do we not laugh? If you poison us, do we not die? And if you wrong us, shall we not revenge? This is a contrast between two sentences, first and second. If you prick us, do we not bleed? If you tickle us, we do not laugh. If you poison us too, we do not die. And if you wrong us, shall we not revenge? So this is a kind of a repetition here that is known as parallelism in the within a sentence or in the sentence. Let's see. Here all the four clauses have the same pattern, but there is a slight version in fourth because of a replacement of do. And if you wrong us, shall we not revenge? Shall culminating in a climax. Very often verbal repetition and parallelism are combined, as we can see in the following example of from the Robert Burns poem called A Red Red Rose. Oh, my love is like red red rose. Oh, my love is like a red red rose newly sprung in June. Oh, my love is like a melody that's sweetly played in tune. Oh, my love is like a red. Oh, my love is like a red red rose newly sprung in June. Oh, my love is like a melody that is a sweetly played in June. Played in tune. Martin Luther King's unique and memorable speech, I Have a Dream, abounds of verbal repetition and parallelism, which contribute to its strong impact. This is all about the verbal repetition and parallelism. So, we will see another content or another part of this chapter in next video. Thank you.